1976, Congress stepped in and said devices now must be classified. The public will be protected by devices. And Congress said to FDA, go back and start classifying all devices. One form of devices, the one that is most heavily regulated, is an implant. That's something that goes into the body but does not dissolve. A drug will dissolve. It stays in the body. It can be a hip implant. It can be a dental filling. Dental fillings are devices. So the FDA, moving at the speed they're usually known as, took a decade and a half, but generally classified all devices, and there's a huge exception in this case. But by the end of the Reagan administration, by the end of 1988, the FDA had classified classified all dental fillings. Now, amalgam was by far the most common one then, in the 70s and 80s, but they refused to classify amalgam. They classified gold and resin and filling materials you and I have never heard of, but they wouldn't classify amalgam. That was the Reagan administration. You got through the, then came the Bush 1, then Carter, Bush 1, then Clinton, then Bush 2. No classifying. FDA essentially made the decision, we're not going to classify. Or, in the case, really, Susan Runner made that decision, and since it was a non-action, nobody at FDA had anything to approve or reject, any commissioner, and they could have cared less. And so you had no action by FDA until we sued them, and had to sue them twice. We sued in the Court of Appeals, then we went back and sued in the district court on what's called a mandamus, an order. And FDA, we sought a court order to order FDA to classify. So that's what our 2007 case, filed at the end of 2007, served in early 2008, was about. FDA simply deciding not to classify, to leave amalgam on the market as an unclassified product. It was outrageous, but that was FDA's decision. They simply didn't care enough to classify the product, the device.